What is engineering? Engineering is a broad, diverse field of disciplines and people. It can be hard to pin down any one definition. Regardless, society in general tends to hold some stereotypes of what engineers are, but that description is only accurate for a narrow sect of mechanical and civil engineers. In reality, engineers have brought many great contributions to society in many different fields. Even a simple project can use various fields of engineering. We set out to study this phenomenon at McGill by using the Airbus A380, a complex project, and the McGill students as our society.
To get to our topic, we take Airbus A380, the largest passenger plane on the planet, as a typical example. Engineers from many disciplines take cutting-edge technology and revolutionary designs to make this incredible machine fly to the sky. In order to build up the A380 that can take off and remain airborne, mechanical engineers harness the forces of nature. They were inspired by the flying bird's shape and designed a wing shape for A380 that can generate more lift than normal planes. Furthermore, on the plane, special high-lift devices, slats on the front and flats on the back, allows the wings to increase in size and curve depending on how much lift is needed. More surprisingly, inside these wings is the fuel, which is needed to complete the flight. The system can constantly adjust the amount of fuel to maintain the center of gravity. In normal airplanes, pilots operate the aircraft through some mechanical stuff. Some pulleys, wells, and cables move the controls. But for A380, electrical engineers design a new brand controlling system, fly-by-wire. When pilots operate the plane, fly-by-wire tells the computer that tells the control what to do. This allows pilots to do more precise commands, and therefore the overall safety of flight is guaranteed. Moreover, the electronic device replaces the mechanical stuff, which also reduces the whole weight of A380. Mechanical engineers also created a specialized engine, GP7200 engine, that can provide large enough thrust for this massive airplane. Besides, the engine reduces the noise, gas emission, and fuel consumption that were below the international limit for this size of aircraft. It really sets a new standard for airlines. Another main challenge is the material choice for aircraft outer surface. If the whole plane were made by traditional material aluminum, it would be too heavy. Thanks to material and civil engineers, they created a new composite material for A380, glass. Reinforced with glass fiber, but lighter than aluminum. Glass can also deal with extreme low temperature. Without this revolutionary design feature, this aircraft wouldn't exist today.
We made a questionnaire about the Airbus A380. We asked people whether they thought the A380 was different from any other plane, which fields of engineering went into designing the plane, and how much pollution they thought the plane created.
I know nothing about planes.
Just from the sides.
From the size?
Just because.
Oh, it's pretty big.
A lot of planes are really big. So
Yeah.
it
It looks pretty big.
looks very big. Oh yeah, and there's a little car there
For reference. Yeah,
Okay,
it
that's
was
giant.
a lot bigger. Yeah.
And how much pollution do you think this plane will use?
I want to hope that not a lot, but what?
Oh, a lot?
Just considering its size.
Comparing with other planes, you think it's produced more or less?
Probably more. I don't know if that's logical, just because of its size.
How about you?
I think this is a trick question.
Yeah, same. I was like, I hope not, but
Maybe less. I don't have a reasoning other than I think it's a trick question.
Here is our interview result. From the pie chart, we can say only 1/3 of people has ever been on an A380. However, there are 61.4% believes there exists a difference between A380 and other types of aircrafts. Still, The figures show that the public generally hear about A380 and believe there has been some technical process done by the engineers, but they are not very familiar with what engineers have done. This bar chart shows the responses of engineering fields involved in the design of an A380. We can see a lot of people mentioned mechanical engineering, and only few people mentioned material and civil engineering. Actually, material and civil engineers' work is crucial and indispensable for A380, especially for the shell of A380. The material engineers made a great innovation into the material they use for the shell, so the plane can be much more lighter than others and much more bigger. If glare and similar composite were not used, A380 we have today probably wouldn't exist.
One stigma engineering faces is the idea that all engineers are men. We asked students what they thought the proportion of female engineers was in both schools and in the workplace. Students surveyed from McGill expect around 20 to 30% of engineering students to be female, and around 10 to 20% of the engineering workforce to be female as well. While the average workforce estimates are not bad, a large portion of students still expect the number to be somewhere over 20%. In reality, numbers from the Society of Women Engineers show that 18 to 20% of engineers graduating with a bachelor's are women, and almost 26% of engineers with a master's degree are women as well. While those numbers show a positive trend, only 12% of professional engineers are women, a significant drop from the graduating class. However, this number does vary by engineering field. Women only make up 7% of mechanical engineers, but they represent over a third of computer systems analysts.
We will now expand our focus to examine engineering in general. To do this, we interviewed both engineering and non-engineering students. Here is our interview with a student in nursing.
You can go a little biased, but I'd probably say healthcare.
I mean,
Honestly, like build stuff, fix stuff, like they're like from, I don't know, I know they're good at physics for the most part. I don't know, I think it's like broader than like my narrow mindset. Like I feel like it's way more than I.
We also interviewed a fourth-year chemical engineer.
which profession do you think contribute the most to society?
Probably like medicine.
Medicine?
Yeah.
As you saw in the video clips, both interviewees thought that medicine as a profession contributed the most to society. This perception is common because the notoriety of medicine overshadows the impact of engineering in today's world. While it is true that medicine has played a big role in the development of our society, almost everything around us, from buildings to transportation systems to hospital equipment, is a product of engineering. In the interview with the nursing student, she thought that engineers just built things and the most common form of engineering in her life was bridges. While technically correct, these answers don't reflect the full story of an engineer. Engineers solve many different problems. We don't just build bridges.
Generally, people think that engineering is a male-dominated profession that only builds things. While people both under and overestimate the proportion of women in engineering, the ratio of men to women in engineering is only one symptom of a much greater problem with the public image of engineers. Engineering is all around us in our daily lives, but great contributions of engineers, as in the amazing yet unheard of case of the A380, are often overlooked or passed over in favor of other fields like medicine, which carry a more social connotation. For better or worse, these are the perceptions of engineering in society today, and the only one with the power to change them is you.